Hey, well, today I'm angry at the public sector unions, and I know that a lot of you share my anger at the police unions. But I would point out that the reason that we're angry at the police unions, which is the fact that they protect their members no matter what harm to the public, these same arguments apply to all public sector unions. Teachers, firefighters, lifeguards, public service employees, postal service employees, any public sector employee at the city, state, or federal level these days is represented by a collective bargaining union. Even the bastion of liberal thought, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, in 1937 wrote this letter where he gave his opinion that public sector unions should not exist. Not only that, even the unions themselves. In 1955, the president of the AFL-CIO, which was the largest union in America at that time, he pointed out that it was impossible to bargain collectively with the government as a public sector employee. Even in 1959, the AFL-CIO said government employees should have no right beyond their ability to petition Congress. So, where have we gotten to and where are we now? The biggest problem is the fact that these unions and our elected officials are engaged in corruption beyond what you can imagine. Let me describe a scenario to you, and you will see that this plays out in your hometown. Not only does it play out in your hometown at the city level, but at the state level and even at the federal level. This corruption is endemic and built into the system. Here's how it works. Let's say, for this example, represent the teachers. I go to a city councilman who's running for office and I say, I will give you our support. In exchange, I want you to promise our members a raise or a better pension or some give in exchange for our vote. This trade is around the world known as corruption, yet it is allowed here. The city councilman, in exchange for the votes of the teachers union or the police union or any other collective union that he is claiming the endorsement of, if he is elected, he will repay the favor by voting more benefits for this union. The worst part is normal corruption. Somebody pays a bribe. The union votes for you and you pay the union. That's normal corruption. What makes this so much worse is the politician's not even paying the union himself. We have to pay, and we are bankrupting ourselves doing it. In the year 2009, the number of public sector union members exceeded the number of private sector union employees for the first time. Almost 8 million to 7.5 million. And we end up with a situation like this. These are lifeguards in Newport Beach. The top earner received $211,000. Everybody on the lifeguard staff in Orange County received over $120,000 in compensation except for only one person. These cities are bankrupting themselves by promising benefits that we cannot afford to pay. I mean, look at what's happening with the police. I just read that LA has a $50 million overtime bill for its officers. Around the country, city, state, and federal employees are either able to retire after 20 years of service with a pension, or in the state of California, for every year they work, they get 3% of their salary. So if they retire after 30 years of work, they get 90% of their salary. This is their final year salary. And fraud takes place. They juice this final year. They take overtime, vacation time. They get this final year salary as high as they can because that's going to determine how much money they're paid in perpetuity until they die. Cities are going bankrupt paying these pension benefits. No one seems to know about it. All the liberals and Antifa and Black Lives Matter out there who are trying to defund the police departments, do you have any idea that if you cut the police department to zero, you're still going to have billions of dollars of expense because of all the retired policemen, all the retired firefighters, all the retired teachers? I mean, let's not fall for all these platitudes of money for the children, more money for teachers. These unions are a pox on the public. They are bankrupting us. We cannot afford to pay the promises that politicians have made with our money. We don't have the money, and you can't come to us for it. We didn't make these promises. Why are we forced to pay them? This public sector union problem is enormous. And you're going to see that in the years to come, it's going to bankrupt almost every municipality in the country, unless they take a federal bailout, in which case we're only going to hasten the federal bankruptcy. Please, let's all take a look at what's happening around us and wake up.